Hey traders, we're back for a weekly Forex forecast for the last week of January. So, you know what we do on the channel, we go through and analyze different pairs to see what's going on for this upcoming week. And this week is going to be January 28th to February 3rd. And you should go to forexfactory.com to check out the calendar to see the different news events affecting the market that week. So for Sunday, according to this calendar, nothing too crazy, just low impact news for New Zealand. I usually don't trade Sundays. I just let the market do what it does when it opens. And then Monday is a slow day, mostly a low impact day overall. You got Tuesday, and Tuesday, January 30th, you have mostly low impact news events. And then you have 10 a.m., which is going to affect the USD pair, high impact news. You got the CV consumer confidence and like job openings. When those announcements come out, it's going to affect the market. So just be cautious if you're scalping around that time. And then we have Asian session, AUD pairs, a lot of high impact news events. So just be mindful again if you're scalping. And then Wednesday, we have, decent amount of news, especially I would say during New York session, you have high impact news affecting the USD and the CAD pairs, as well as FOMC statements and FOMC press conference around 2 p.m. So Wednesday is going to be definitely a heavy day. So just be mindful if you're holding positions around those times because of the volatility in the markets. And then you have Thursday, where there's a lot of news events as well, but mainly the one to look out for is for GBP during 7 a.m. So before New York opens, around 7 a.m., there's going to be heavy news. So usually this news is very, volatile in the market around those times for this pair. So just be cautious, especially if you're scalping or holding positions. And then obviously you have unemployment claims, the New York session, and you have the ISM manufacturing PMI. So Thursday is definitely a loaded day. Be on the lookout. And to end the week, Friday, February 2nd, is NFP non-farm payroll. So it's gonna be like some heavy news around 8:30 that's gonna be affecting the markets. You got unemployment rates. So just be cautious. Because usually when the NFP news comes out and affects the direction of the market for the upcoming week to come. So that's pretty much going on for this week. Heavy news, I would say. So there should be good movements when you're trading. So let's look at some pairs. We'll look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I got in a sell Friday. So I'm still holding. Right now, based off my analysis on the 4 hour chart, I see pretty much see the market pretty much coming back down for a retracement. I see us pretty much coming back down because if it hits my 78.6 retracement zone, so I like to use Fibonacci, because this is near a heavy supply zone. So if you're gonna see my supply and demand, you're gonna see there's like a lot of volatility around those areas. So usually if it hits that and retraces, it should come down. So we are on a slight downtrend. So that's what I see right now for this pair. For my analysis, obviously I'm trying to focus on sales, but if I get stopped out, I have my idea place of stops. So now let's look at GBPCAD. So GBCAD right now, if we go, let's go to the daily, get a bigger picture. So pretty much last week, there's like consolidation. It was trying to push up a little, but it's on a heavy, you could say, supply zone area where the market likes to retest and see before it drops. Right now, it hasn't broke through. And ended on a 4 hour chart right now. It hasn't broke through and it's ended pretty much bearish to close Friday, a strong bearish push. So that being said, knowing that it's a what's it called? Bearish push, I'm probably gonna still focus on sells through the zone area. If we trace up, I'm gonna see if we don't break a create new high, I'm gonna focus on sells to the downside. So right now, my focus this week is for sales. But usually when the market opens, it could be a continuation before it rises up and comes down. But there's heavy news this week affecting GBP. So just be mindful when you hold like swing trades. So let's look at the next pair. So the next pair we're gonna look at is gonna be GBP So let's go to the daily chart real quick. So this is a nice trade for a sell. Even on a daily, if you understand candlestick patterns, these two alone it shows like okay, engulfing. So ideally, I'm going to be focused on sales down to the downside based off what's going on right now in the market. I could see us come up a little bit for a retest and then still coming down. So obviously it took a couple days for it to come down here. So I do expect it to, potentially come down regardless. And let's go to the 4-hour chart real quick. So the 4-hour chart, based off previous, past candles, you can see it consolidated and broke through, range and came back down. So right now, if it does retrace, for those who like to trade the retracement, does retrace, we can still try to look for opportunity for a downside, or the market could literally open Sunday down and gradually come back up before it shoots down. So regardless, just focus on sales this week on this pair. There's too much confirmation for me to not focus on sales. And then GBP New Zealand. For those who trade this, again, I have the zone drawn for like supply. So pretty much it's a strong area. If we push up, okay, then I get stopped out. But right now I'm focusing on the sells. This is a daily chart, so clearly each candle takes a day. So right now I'm not sold on it to going higher. But if it does, it does, based off the news that happen this week. But regardless, right now I'm focused on sell push. So if I go to let's go down to the 4-hour. So if I go to the 4-hour, I notice okay, we still created, a new high over here. So we could literally, come down to retest and then come up, or we could literally break through and go down. So I'm just being mindful to see what happens based off how the market reacts early this week for the news. But right now, for Lisa's pair, I'm not fully sold on sales. I mean, I'm not fully sold on buys. I'm focusing on sales only because of the daily right now. Okay, and now let's go to the next pair. Let's go to GBPJPY. So this pair been choppy. This is the 4-hour. It's been choppy this past few weeks. So, we got big news coming this week. So there should be a direction. It's been on this crazy uptrend, but right now it's been, consolidating in the zone area. So right now I do see the market is either going to do two things. Either we're going to break and then go higher, or we're gonna come down and shoot up, or third, we can come down and go back lower. So there's three different options. So I'm just gonna be mindful and just observing when what's gonna happen. We're gonna break through this consolidation to the downside before shooting up, or are we gonna just come down and shoot back up? But ultimately, this is overall uptrend on the higher time frames, but it is due for a retracement. Now look at GBPUSD. So same thing like other pair, it's just been ranging. So right now, I'm just observing on a 4-hour how the market reacts to the supply zone here. So if we come up here, let's say we come back up here, we can literally shoot back down here. If we break down here, then we know we're going down to the downside. But right now, market is just ranging in this area. So moments like this, you guys just trade what you see and see how it reacts to the zones. But we could literally, come down here and shoot up, or we can come down here and break through. So just gotta be mindful. Right now, this area is pretty strong. It hasn't really been broken. So that's why I see that we could potentially just come down. Okay, let's look at the next pair. Euro AUD. Let's go to 4 hour. So Euro AUD is pretty much overall uptrend. Right now, I'm trying to see for retracements. So let me just out this way. Trying to see if the market would come back down for retracement. So if we come down here, I expect us to test and shoot back up. Or we could already just be coming up as the market opens up beginning of this week. So that's what I see for Euro AUD overall uptrend. And Euro New Zealand, this is kind of choppy as well, but ultimately it's still looking for overall uptrend. We could either retrace down one last time, then push up, or we could literally just do a continuation to the upside, test the high, come down, or shoot up. So those like few options, but just be mindful of the news this week. And then gold for the gold traders out there. Gold's been kind of choppy, but obviously it's been slightly, on a downtrend, but fundamentally is very bullish. But right now it's slightly been on a downtrend. So I do see gold to either play around the zone and break it and retest here for coming back down, or we could literally shoot back up here and come back down. So those are a few options, but I'm not really focused on gold. So I see a better indication. And silver. So silver does seem more better for trade setups. I do see it as a bullish opportunity to ride to the upside. Do see it to potentially come up to the upside, but that could take some time for a swing trade. And let's look at USDJPY. Let's go to the daily chart. So USDJPY is pretty funny pair because when it ranges up, it goes up and it can go up for a while. As you can see previously, how it just shot up, it took a couple weeks, well, a couple months, and it came down a couple months, and now we're going up. So we could literally potentially, depending on what happens this week with the news, we could potentially start to retrace and come back down to the downside. We could literally, come up and come down to the downside, or we could literally retrace down and then shoot back up before coming down to the downside. So just be mindful of what's going on with the news this week. And last but not least, let's look at New Zealand USD. So if we go to the daily chart, you can see overall, it's been slightly, going on a downtrend, but we retraced back up here and then shot down. But now we're on this funny zone area where it looks like on a 4 hour that potentially could come back up. Pretty much basically because of the structure, we could come up, retrace down, and shoot up. Or if we come down and break down the zone, we're gonna come all the way back down. So just be mindful to see how market reacts around the zone area. If we break down, obviously come down to the downside. If we create area support, beginning is weak, then we could potentially come back up. So just be mindful of what's going on with that. Actually, let's look at NAS 100 as the last pair. So NAS 100, this is on the 4-hour chart. As you can see on a 4-hour chart, this trend is bullish. Obviously, we're retracing down, trying to find an area support. If we create an area support here, we should come back up to the upside. But if we break down through this support level, it become resistance, and then we'll come down to the downside. Because as you see on the daily chart, this has been a crazy push. So, market could, could do a continuation, or market could finally decide to come down. But right now, overall, NAS 100 is very bullish. So that's pretty much my analysis for this week. Just be mindful for the news events, especially Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Having news this week, so just be mindful and practice good risk management. And you have any questions, just let me know. We out here. Peace.